Hey GX World, Sharpan here. I wanted to make this video to actually go in detail about the third mechanism of getting paid as a GX broker. Now, if you have followed the GX broker evolution, you know that there are three types of transactions that you as a GX broker can get paid on and facilitate for your customer base. And the first one is what we would call a token broker transaction. And a token broker transaction is where you facilitate the sale of newly issued tokens in exchange for fiat currency. The second type of transaction that you can facilitate is called an OTC transaction, where you are actually facilitating the sale of large and liquid cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin or Ethereum in exchange for fiat currencies for your customers. And the third type of transaction is something called a digital transaction. And a digital transaction is where you are facilitating crypto to crypto transactions for your customers. Now, up until this point, the only two types of transactions you could have facilitated were token broker and OTC broker transactions, because those were the transactions that were encapsulated in the products that we had released pre-launch. Now that we're heading into phase 3 and we launched the first version of the GX Trade routing engine yesterday with the crypto purchasing agent website, you are actually eligible to get paid on crypto to crypto transactions, because the second tab in crypto purchasing agent allows your customers, without creating any accounts, to trade over 300 cryptocurrencies without having to log in, without having to leave their money in the custody of any particular exchange. And so now the question is, how do you get compensated on that? Well, if you recall, and now I'm going to go into a little bit of compensation jargon, there's something called total transaction volume, or total transactional volume, TTV. And TTV represents the total US dollar value of a given transaction. So if someone is exchanging $10,000 worth of Bitcoin for Ethereum, the TTV would be 10,000 US dollars. Out of the TTV, there are fees that are charged to your customer base that act as realized revenue for the company and for the GX broker. And we call those total transactional fees, TTF. And the TTF is actually different depending on which type of transaction we're talking about. And since we're talking about digitally facilitated transactions, in this case, the company sets the TTF based on the product that we're discussing. And there is a plethora of digitally facilitated transactional products that the company is going to allow the brokers to participate in, starting with crypto purchasing agent, going to GX Trade, going to GX Markets, going to GX Decentral, and the list will go on, because we're going to continue to expand that product base. Each one of them have a different TTF percentage. For crypto purchasing agent, where they can trade, one-off crypto to crypto, the TTF is 1%. Let me repeat that. So there is a 1% fee charged by the company onto the client. And so that 1% is the TTF in crypto purchasing agent. In other words, in that example where the customer exchanges $10,000 worth of Bitcoin for $10,000 worth of Ethereum, the TTV is $10,000 and the TTF by percentage is 1%, and the TTF by dollar value is 100 US dollars, 1% of $10,000. Now that TTF is divided and inserted into the GX broker compensation structure. And there are 4 elements that need to take part in any given transaction. There is the direct broker who facilitated that transaction. That is the website, that is the owner of the website that person made that transaction on. So the direct person. That person keeps 35% of the TTF. So in this given case, they would keep 35 US dollars. Additionally, there is the indirect broker, the people, and that's not just one person, that's every single broker that led up to that transaction. And so for them, there is a 15% spread that out of the TTF, so 15% of 1% that goes to all of the brokers that led up to that transaction. And the distribution mechanism that we use is obviously our proprietary broker chain technology that allows each person to get compensated. So then there's 35% of the 1% going to the direct, there is 15% going into the broker chain, whereby every single broker that led up to that will get compensated. In addition, there is another 50%, because 35 plus 15 is 50, so the other 15% actually goes to the broker dealer and the broker dealer chain. And if you don't know what a broker dealer is, there is other videos on YouTube that explain exactly what a GX broker dealer does and how he gets compensated, but there is an additional 50% reserved for them. So if you're a broker and you facilitate crypto to crypto transactions on Crypto Purchasing Agent, you will receive 35% of the TTF, which is 1% of the total transaction. If you are the person that brought the broker in that facilitated that, you will partake in the broker chain, sharing 15% of all of the fees. So if you haven't fully understood how the broker chain works, I recommend you watch my video on exactly how that works so you can understand the distribution mechanism. But that really goes to show you that all 100% of TTF, the whole fees charged on this trade, the digital trade, is given back to the broker. And so I really wanted to take that live example, because we did release the product yesterday, to show you what it would look like for digital transactions. And I know this is a topic that we haven't covered much because it hasn't been released, but really this is the value of the GX broker, because the token transactions are cool, they're high margin, you can get people excited, it's a way to galvanize your customer base. The OTC transactions are easy to facilitate because you're giving the service that everyone wants. Everyone wants convenient Bitcoins, they want convenient Ethereums, but the way you can build a real sustainable exchange business is by digitally facilitated transactions, crypto to crypto trading. The volumes on these type of products could be immense, and for you to carve out a piece of that, starting with Crypto Purchasing Agent, but just like this dimension, there are so many digitally exchange traded products that we're going to be driving for you guys throughout the course of this month, so you can build an incredible revenue stream, a set of revenue streams using digitally traded transactions. It's the closest thing to sustainable residual income because it's transactional, it's unnoticeable, you can drive real customer value, and it is by far one of the most exciting components of the GX broker platform. So I hope that was educational. I know there's a lot of information. You can correlate that back to the broker compensation document that we released. If you're interested in learning more, go watch the video on how the compensation plan works. If you want to know how broker dealers make money and how you can become a part of that, go watch the video on that. And if you need additional assistance and how you can take your digitally facilitated transactions business to the next level, please feel free to reach out in your GX broker support chat, and we are here to make sure that the integration and the execution of this incredible product line goes well for you.